Hello, everybody, and welcome to the stream scene. We have a fantastic episode for you guys, for streamers of all sizes, about working with community managers, influencer managers, and PR people. I am joined here by my lovely co-host, Hunter. What's up, Hunter?
Slightly less lovely today. I was complaining throughout our entire 30 minute pre-show. Today was leg day, and to me, I have a foot in the grave. It feels like after at least one leg in the grave. After nearly 40 hours of streaming Anthem this week, so my brain is in recovery mode. But the subject matter that we're tackling today is so surprisingly critical in a way that I think a lot of people don't recognize until they're into that sort of that deep end of things. And they're like, wait, I haven't been doing any of this work. I don't know where I am anymore. I'm off the map. There be dragons here. Kind of situation. So we're gonna try and rectify that a little bit today. Help you guys out with the aid of some terrific, lovely, and magnificent guests. We got HeyDMart, we got Sean. You guys, how are you doing today? And if you wouldn't mind giving us a bit of an introduction, who you are, what you do, like why you're here, as for the subject matter.
All right. David, you want to go first?
No, I was going to defer to you. This is such a PR thing to do. Go ahead, Sean.
This is our strategy.
The infinite deferral.
Hey, I'm Sean Baptiste. Sean the Baptiste on Twitter. I am the influencer manager for Bethesda Softworks. Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Doom, Wolfenstein, Rage, all those games. Wait, we doing more than that? What's going on?
No, I mean, what's your history in the industry? How long have you been around?
Yeah, so I've been in games for 15 years. I started way back as a tester on karaoke games for Harmonix, like way back.
Really?
So like my job was to go and sing like Sweet Caroline for 16 straight hours, and then best thing about that, QA, we only had one computer for all of us. So you would go to a room, you would play the game for many hours, log the bugs in a notebook, and then you had shared time on the computer where you could go and log your bugs.
Oh, how times have changed.
Wow. It's everything has changed. So so I was in development. I was a tech artist for a little while, and then I ran that community team for a number of years before going into indies, and then now I'm at Bethesda. But yeah, I've been working with influencers since about 2011, 2012, when that started being a thing that existed at all. But yeah.
Oh man, and I was telling Sean before, I miss you in the indie world, man.
I'm still indie right here.
Yeah. So my name is David Martinez, or HeyDMart on Twitter, and I'm currently the I don't know what you call me. I'm a co-founder at Raw Fury, which is like an indie publishing label. We have published games like Bad North and Kingdom. We have some upcoming stuff. Thank you. We have some upcoming stuff like Sable and Mosaic coming out. And I've been in the industry for almost 10 years now. Be 10 years in September when I got a little internship at a PR firm here in San Francisco that specialized in tech and video games. And back then I didn't know that PR for video games existed. So that was a nice surprise. And while I was there, we had a client named Paradox Interactive, and I was eventually hired by them internally, and I launched some games there you may know, like Europa Universalis 4, Crusader Kings 2, City Skylines, I think is a pretty popular one.
So good.
The First Pillars of Eternity. And it's just like Sean, working with, we didn't call them influencers. We didn't call them content creators back then, just whatever they were in 2011.
Yeah.
Both those terms are rather new. I think within the last like 3-ish years.
Basically.
Yeah. Back then it was just like those kids on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then eventually those kids on Twitch, which used to be Justin.tv.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've been working with streamers for a while as well.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, it's crazy how rapid the industry has changed. I mean, you guys have been in this, like, each of you have been in this longer than I think Hunter and I have streamed combined. Like, and
Yeah.
then even within like like I've been almost 5 years now streaming, and it's crazy how much has changed within that amount of time.
Yeah.
And working with people like you guys with, you know, gamer launches, getting codes, giveaways, unboxings for like cool loot and stuff, public events, going to conventions and stuff. This is the relationship between you guys and what we do has become such a critical thing, something that can be started at any level of streaming. You know, I know a lot of streamers, they see the topic of the show and they're like, oh, that doesn't apply to me. I just started. I have 5 viewers. But like truly, you could start this relationship at any level. And we'll definitely get into that today. But to start, I want to ask you guys, what's the nature of your relationship with streamers? What do you guys do with streamers? How do you work with us?
Oh, there's so much to that question. Yeah, so
Here's a field. Walk wherever
right.
you want.
So, you know, for me, yeah, like I'm glad you brought that up. I don't really look at size. A lot of times people will, you know, because I keep my Twitter DMs open so that people can get at me if I don't know who they are.
Yeah,
but
right.
but like, that's because I also want to encourage a lot of streamers who maybe don't have huge audiences. They haven't had that thing happen yet that has really made their channel large, anything like that. Because I don't care about that, I guess. The size of your channel really doesn't matter to me because, and I've said this a lot of times too, like Ninja didn't make Fortnite. I mean, that's what everybody's going to go in that direction. Fortnite kind of made him, and he was in the right place at the right time. And there was a lot of that. And I'm always looking for the person who we can stream with, who we can support, who we can watch them grow alongside what we make with our games. And that's what I want to see. So I work with a lot of very small streamers or small, like, don't have a lot of subscribers, a lot of followers. I work with a lot of medium-sized ones, and I work with a few large ones as well. I kind of cover the gamut, but I really focus on that early part because I like finding those people who are super duper talented and are really putting in the work, and every day they're doing something to make their stream better, and you can see that they just care and they just want to bet, and that's the reason why they do that. Those are the people I want to work with, and you know, I always want to help them as much as possible and make sure they can reach me.
Every big talented streamer started with mom watching, right?
Yep.
Started with like
if they were lucky,
one person. Yeah.
If they were lucky.
My mom still can't watch my stream.
Mom definitely might not have cared. She's like, whatever you want to do, sweetie, and that was it. Thanks, Ma. I'll use the basement. Similar philosophy to Sean here. Like every large streamer that you know nowadays, they started somewhere small, and you know, some of the ones that have been around, you know, for like 5 years, like you guys, for example, were around in a different era, when streaming wasn't like a viable career. You were doing it as a hobby. Nowadays, it is seen as a career, and so I think people, sometimes streamers expect handouts earlier than the folks who back then, like, you know, worked up a little bit of an audience first and stuff. And so there's kind of that disconnect right there, right, where people are like, oh, PR people don't support small streamers, and that's not true. I think a lot of PR people support folks who are actively working on their channels and working to grow themselves an audience. You know, you have Sean, you've probably surely been through this, where you get someone that reaches out to you and they're, you know, they have a smaller audience, right? But they're also only streaming like twice a month, or 3 times a month or something like that. And as much as I would love to help that person, you know, you got to put a bit more effort into it, right? And then you got the streamer that's like, you know, 5 days a week after work, 4 hours every day on the schedule, really trying. Those are the people that you want to give a shot to, even if they've only got mom and 4 others watching them, you know?
Because what are they going to be capable of doing when they get like that major audience, that critical shift? If they're doing this now while they're, you know, handling being, you know, like a parent and working, you know, 2 jobs and whatever.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Like if if it's something that you care that much about, you're going to do it. You're going to put in the work. If that's the part that you care about, and it's not having a huge audience or making a ton of money or something like that, it's that you want to make a good product. You want to put it out there because you're expressing yourself. It's something you care about. You're going to do amazing things. And I want to do amazing things with you. Like 100%. That's the thing that matters. Your passion for this. You have no idea how much I care about like streaming and like if I ever thought when I was a kid that I could watch TV and the person on TV could just talk back like Mr. Rogers and just be like, "Hey, Mr. Rogers," and Mr. Rogers be like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing? Sub to me." Like, that's crazy. This is an amazing medium, and you have to care about it. Like, you really have to care about it, and those are the people who shine through regardless of the size of their channel.
Yep.
I think the flip side of it too is not every PR person is the same or has the same kind of autonomy. Like myself, for example, I get to hand out codes to whoever I want. It's the thing I've been doing since our company was barely a company, and Sean has a lot of oversight as well over the whole process, I imagine. So, but also having come from the agency background, if you email a PR person, they don't respond to you. Maybe it's because their client only gave them 50 codes, and they got to place the 50 codes with the people that they think are going to be the most influential. And they might not have something for everybody. There's all these stipulations they got. They might have someone breathing down their neck. How come you didn't get Ninja to play this game that's not Fortnite?
Everybody's got a boss, right?
And every PR agency rep has got a boss, and that boss has a client. and yeah, it gets crazy sometimes. So so what Sean and I are saying right now is these are things that we have. I imagine that we have the ability to form, and some folks that you might meet out there, especially if you're a smaller streamer, they might not have that same authority.
Yeah.
So you gotta also have to keep that in mind.
For sure. Yeah, it's not that size doesn't matter at all. Like you guys still look at a streamer's size, and depending on that, it does influence what potential opportunities they might be able to do with you. But it's not the only thing that matters. Is what's important. It's not just your stream size. So what are the things you guys look for in a streamer to work with?
I kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, but that consistency, seeing somebody really trying to make something of themselves, whether it's just they've got 10 viewers or they got 100, right? That hustle,
evidence of effort.
Definitely want to see that for sure. For us at Raw Fury, our games are all over the place, so variety streamers I think are pretty important. I think there's some debate. I saw some debate recently. But I feel that variety streamers are pretty important to us personally. I imagine that other companies that only specialize in specific games are looking for those types of streamers, whatnot.
If it's FPS, you're presumably you're going to be focusing in that direction.
Right. I think to sort of David just used the my favorite word, which is hustle. Hustle is the most important thing. If you're out there and you're making this happen, this is your dream, you want to make it happen. That's palpable. That's something I can feel. Also, I love going to if you I don't like it when people send me numbers. I don't care about your stats, especially since 9 times out of 10 it's probably not going to be accurate. You're inflating them a little bit. I get it. But if you're making me read through the numbers, at least make them real. But I like going to the channel. I love going onto the channel. I love going onto people's channels. I love watching them. And I go back through your old videos too. I don't just watch today's show. I go back to your first video, and I like to watch be all right, so what changed? Has the camera angle changed? Where's the lights? Those are the things that show that how much you care. Is that I don't like to work with people who are finished a stream and they're yeah, that was good enough. I like people who are that was awesome. What am I going to do better tomorrow? Because I like seeing this. I like seeing the field, the medium progress, but I also like seeing that passion from the people who are doing it.
I like seeing people who turn on their broadcast history. Thank you, everyone out there.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
I feel so bad when someone's hey, I get X amount of folks in my stream. Like, that's great. Let me look at your. Oh, there's nothing saved. I have no way of knowing what you actually do.
Can we reiterate this as a pro tip?
Yes,
pro tip.
please save your VODs.
Yes.
Save your VODs.
And that's why I always recommend to not paywall them either, because like, you're just no one's gonna. I don't think you guys are gonna sub to watch someone's VODs that you've never seen before to see if they're worthy of like getting a code or something.
Right, and I mean, I also like to see, because I like the chats too. I like going through and seeing how a streamer is interacting with their audience. Quite frankly, because the audience, the audience that watches, that's kind of the value right there, right? Like that's like the people who watch you and your relationship with them is the thing that kind of matters the most. And you know how you get there matters, but yeah, I really like to see that. I like to see how those interactions play out.
Yeah. What about business emails and putting those on Twitter profiles? Because I see a lot of like
oh my god,
influencer managers tweeting about that.
Ooh, I'm gonna blow up right now.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Please put your email address in your Twitter bio. Please.
Yep.
Please put it on your Twitch bio. Please put it on every bio you have.
Yeah. Also, occasionally check that email address.
Please probably maintain it
once a week at least. Please take a look in there, because when I get an email back 7 months later, they're like, "Is this still an opportunity?" I'm like, "No, no, it isn't." What?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest one. I think. Okay, YouTube as a platform has a section in the About section where someone can hide their email address. You just click a little button, you fill out a stupid captcha, click on a bunch of cars or trees or buses or whatever Google asked you for. and then you get the email address. But on Twitch, there's nothing like that. So it's definitely up to the broadcaster to make sure that they have their contact info there, because sometimes people like us want to give you things. Yeah, and it makes it easier if we can find a way to contact you. There's one caveat here. I know that some folks, especially the bigger folks, they might not want to have their email address on there for privacy reasons, which is understandable. But maybe in that case, put like your official Twitter account in your bio, and then DM somebody from that Twitter account, because we can easily put one and one together and be like, oh, okay, that check mark on Twitter says they want a code. Okay.
Right, because also, like if you have no idea how much of our inboxes really are just people being like, yeah, I'm Dr. Disrespect, give me a code. And you're like, I don't.
Big X, little X, Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah.
420, 365, XX at Yahoo? I don't know how that's possible. Like that's not like we have to sift through that. We're not in the business of giving out codes to scammers who are just going to sell it on G2A. That's really what we're trying to avoid for all intents and purposes. So the easier you make it for us to verify people. There's also services like Keymailer, which do the verification. We put codes in there and deliver them directly, which also works as well.
I kind of wish that we had come up with a list of actual emails we've gotten from folks trying to pretend they're other folks. I've seen.
I think I've
really
seen
clever
some
ones.
of yours that you tweeted out before.
It's really good.
Put a few on blast, that's for sure. I love how creative they get. My favorite one is when they try to substitute an L for like a capital I. That's the crafty one. That's you got to put that in Notepad and double check. It's a matching address. Yeah.
So we didn't actually answer this question, but what do you guys do with streamers? Like, why would a streamer want to contact you besides like just getting a code?
Oh man. so there's lots of things, and I think in some ways, and I'm sure David's the same. Is liking it kind of depends. It's a little bespoke person to person, depending on size of channel, sort of the focus and everything. It's not just here's a free code and here's $2 million or anything like that. It's not really so much that. We'll give codes, and a lot of times I'll check in. I want to see what content came from that. I want to see how that worked. That's a lot of work because that's a lot of codes and, a lot of follow up. But, I want to make sure that this is going to people who are making good stuff. But beyond that, there's also just sort of bringing attention to those channels, hooking them up with other people, hooking them up with other channels who are doing good stuff, being kind of sometimes like a little bit of a matchmaker as far as collabs go and stuff like that. Inviting people to events. Say we're doing some sort of event where we're doing capture for an upcoming game. Or just getting an early hands-on, and it's exclusive, but let's have you there, see what happens. Making sure when we go to PAX that the people who have been doing streams or doing great streams with us, who are kind of partnered with us in a sense, are taken care of. Like they'll have a pass to come to whatever we're doing. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of I was about to make a Love Boat reference, and then I figured I'd be dating myself. So.
I wouldn't get it.
I would have got it.
2/3 of our audience is going to be like...
I feel like Julie the cruise director. That's what I'm saying. I'm Julie the cruise director.
Like, I'm just going to nod and agree with everything that Sean said.
Culture reference, okay.
That one.
No, he hit it right on the nose there, though. I mean, this job, PR is similar to, influencer relations, right? PR and community and influencer relations are all very similar. Relations is the big key there, right? It's about cultivating relationships, about getting to know people. I'll be really honest. It's just as advantageous for us as it is for anyone that just wants to play a game and not have to pay money. Like there are people maybe that Sean and I will hand a code to this year, and maybe 5 years from now they're going to be hosting their own show. Just like you guys are right now, right? And we'll have known them from back then, and they're going to be like, "Oh, they gave me the chance." Early seed.
Yep.
Yeah, they gave me the chance. And now I'm going to respond to everything they always send me. Right? No.
Yes.
No.
Obviously. I'm going to press reply all when I'm supposed to.
Yeah. It's just as great for us to meet folks that are early in their career, because maybe they're going to be bigger in their career, or maybe they're going to be the same size, but they have got a super dedicated audience. In the end, who cares, right? It's all about we're humans, and we're humans, and our small agenda is we want you to play our games. So we hope you want to play our games. Yeah. And we can have a really cool reciprocal symbiotic thing going on.
Yeah.
I agree entirely.
For sure. So what kind of mistakes do you guys see from streamers reaching out to you? Like, what are some of those common pitfalls that we fall into? Because I think one of the things about this relationship is like, there's not enough information out there. There's no like set standards, and there's a lot of, especially in streaming, it's so new, and there's a lot of like young people getting into it. There's a lot of like ignorance, like about like how to engage in these relationships. You know what I mean? Like just because of just, not having done this before, not having a background in business and being new to it.
And because of how many new people are coming in all the time, I assume that you get a refresher of all those mistakes again and again and again.
Daily.
I feel like most people get it sort of right. It's when you're interacting with a stranger on the internet that you want something from, you probably are polite, and you probably are have like a I know politeness really goes a long way. Probably helps that you are a little professional. That doesn't mean you can't use slang or memes. If anything, you should send us memes. That's great because our inboxes are boring most of the time. Or at least a really good cat gif. I want to see that.
If you DM me on Twitter, you have to send a dog pic first, or else I'm just not going to pay attention. It's in my bio on Twitter. It says send a dog pic, and I might even respond.
You should also be making sure to read Sean's bio so you know this, and you don't send him a cat pic. Because I don't know what his cat stance is, but let's not get into it because that could be heated.
I like cats.
Okay,
I accept cats. I'll accept any animal, quite frankly. Just send a picture of an animal, we'll be fine.
But seriously, no dong pics. I saw that in chat. Yes, that's also true.
Don't do that.
Doing a tiny bit of just the bare bones research on whoever it is that you're reaching out to.
Right.
By go into their Twitter account or something like that. Just
Don't ask Sean for Assassin's Creed. I don't think he's gonna be able to help you with that.
Although what I will say is I'll be like, oh yeah, you should I'll definitely. What's your email? I'll get you that, and then just I'll never respond. You'll never get that. I don't work there.
Yeah, know about the person and know about the game that you want to
Yeah.
play too. Like if you're asking for like an RPG and you describe your channel as playing shooters and you're excited for this game, like what? That may not be
Yeah.
a good fit for you.
I feel like know who you are. Know what your channel is. Be the biggest expert on who you are and what you're putting out. And then when you come to me, know what you want, because the truth of the matter is lots of people want lots of things. And I'm reading through lots of requests every single day. And the faster you can kind of establish what the point is and then get to the point, the more I'm going to appreciate that. Because
Just
you know,
for
once we
brevity's
have
sake and
yeah, because we can have future conversations. We probably will. We'll probably be talking for years, because this is a relationship.
but like my
So-
entire vision and identity and thesis write up is not going to be as productive for you.
Followed by a spreadsheet of stats.
no.
Don't do that. Don't ever do that, because I'm not going to remember that, and I don't care. I just don't care. We'll get to that point at some point, but instead, like, you know, if you tell me, you know, what your vision is for your channel in sort of a brief 1 to 2 sentence idea, your relationship with your community, and then what sort of games you'd like to play. I know there, like we were saying earlier, the conversation about variety streamers. But if you are a variety streamer, what do you mostly focus on? It's probably not just literally every single game. You probably have things that you like more than other things, and those things are going to shine out more to your audience. So I want to facilitate that. I want to help that. So get to sort of the point right there, and then we can have future conversations. This isn't the last time we'll talk, as I give you a code and then we never see each other again.
Yeah, I hope not. I feel used when people do
Right?
that. No,
Seriously though.
no, but like, please don't write the dissertation. This is not this is not a thesis defense. Yeah, just a couple sentences is fine. Just tell us, especially if you're smaller, just tell us what it is that you really like about whatever game it is that you're asking about or something, and usually that's fine. Yeah, I don't say you need much more than that. I'll tell you one thing that does irk me a little bit is when I do get someone who I don't know, and they immediately ask me for like a stream key and then like 10 giveaway keys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right, I have no idea who this person is. Like, I wouldn't walk up to a stranger in real life, you know, and ask, or I wouldn't even ask my friends, like you know, in the games industry, like, hey, give me 10 keys. Like, I wouldn't do that. Like, so something like that. How about we get to know each other first? Like, let's not go all the way to third base. How about we start with like dinner and a drink or something like that before we get that far?
a
you know,
smidge and 10 keys. That sounds reasonable. I just met you.
I mean, I like bearded men, so you know we're good
In
here.
the door.
Yeah.
Hey.
So
Always the beardless one. I always feel like
That's true.
every time it's always 3 bearded guys, and then it's just a little baby face. No beard.
If we'd done this in December, I didn't have a beard for like the first time in my life.
Well, then you wouldn't have got a code, Sean.
No, I wouldn't have got a code. Wouldn't have got a code. But yeah, like, and the thing, that's the thing with giveaways, because everybody thinks if they do giveaways, they're going to grow their channel, and I guess there's probably some small logic to that, and I understand why people would think that, but it's really not. As somebody who's been doing this for a really long time, also handling social media accounts, that sort of thing, giveaways do bring people, but they don't necessarily bring people who stay.
They're not keepers. They're not inherently keepers. Yes.
Right. People are there for the free thing. They're not as much there for your content. Now, you hope that they come to maybe win something and that you are so good and so on top of it that they're like, well, I came for the free key, but I stayed because you're fantastic.
That's me.
That is definitely Hunter. Loco. But you shouldn't depend on the giveaway or see that as some sort of key to the city that just opens up everything. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You have to have something underneath that, and that's the thing that's valuable. And one thing I always ask, especially people streamers who I've just met at TwitchCon, etc. What I look for is, you know, it's like, I'm going to give you my email. I'm going to give you my card. Send me a pitch. Send me a pitch for like an episode of your show that you want to do with our game that's going to be unlike anything you've ever done. That's going to feel like event streaming. Hit me up. Let's do this. And then if it's awesome, I will turn over the earth trying to help you. Absolutely. So yeah, those sorts of things. Send that sort of thing. Once we know each other, do that. Be creative.
So do you guys often like? Because I always feel weird asking for giveaway codes. I feel like that's such an extra thing. Like, how often do you guys give additional codes to a content creator?
I think it's for me anyways, it's kind of like a case by case basis. Depends on a lot of variables internally, but I mean, for the most part, if it's someone that we know already and it is someone that has an audience that we've gauged that we think would be receptive, then a couple keys or something like that I think is okay. But again, that goes for folks that you have established relationships with. Someone we know, trust, is not going to go to G2A and sell the keys right away or something like that. Someone who does have like an active audience that they're catering to daily. I don't want to say like I would only reserve it for partners or well-established affiliates, but I feel like if we're being really general, that's kind of where you need to be at. You definitely need to have folks coming to see you. And we have to see a value in giveaways, because even back before streaming was a thing, you'd get reporters that are like, hey, I want to like hand out 5 keys on Twitter. I'm like, is that really going to do anything for me? Like, I don't know. There's like a whole debate, I think, internally about like if giveaways are even like receptive or for us as a company.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not adverse to it whatsoever. But I think we have to at least know you just a tiny bit.
There has to be that relationship that's established, and most of the time it has to be because you mostly stream our games. Like, you're inside of the family, you know what I mean? Like, we're your brand. You go across our titles, that sort of thing. There has to be that sort of like, if you just show up on Twitch and they're like, my brother told, or in my Twitter DMs, and you're just like, my brother told me I should email you, and then you should give me some keys, and I need 10 for giveaways. You're probably not going to get anything.
That is the truth, though. Like the moment someone like the very first outreach is, can I have like 5 codes, and 2, one for me and one for my friend? I'm just like, I'm not even gonna answer you. Like, I wouldn't do that to anybody. Like, that's just weird. So yeah, it goes the other way. No.
So you give a content creator a code. What do you expect from them at that point?
Ooh, that's the golden question, right?
That it really is. That's the tough one.
That's a tough one because on one hand, right? I don't want to say like I expect them to play the game, because what if they play the game and they don't like it? I probably don't want that person to play that game. It would be unenjoyable for them, and it would reflect really poorly on our game. Right. On the other hand, I don't want them to completely ignore it. So I guess the expectation is that hopefully they'll at least download it, try to play it. It doesn't have to be on stream. Just they try to play it, and that's it. Will I ever know? No. I'm not like lurking in someone's PC checking to see if they redeemed a Steam key or whatever. But my hope is that that they will at least have given it a shot, and then if they decide to play it, cool. Especially if they were hounding me incessantly about it, then there is kind of that expectation.
10 emails later, and they're not playing it.
Yeah, it's like, what is going on at that point?
Why, man?
Give me a response.
You visit their Steam page and they see your profile. They're like, you've played this for 300 hours and no content has come out.
Oh boy.
Probably not again. Probably not happening again.
Why did you give it a thumbs down?
Okay, so a related question to that one, one that I noted, I wrote down like 15 minutes ago. What do you think that a sort of ideal version of follow-up from a content creator, from a streamer, what would that look like? And I assume that there are like several different sort of iterations of this, but like what's the spirit of it? And then like do you have any examples of like what a primo one is? Like a highlight reel from an event where they asked for 10 keys and you gave it to them and they're like, "Hey, here's what we did with all the extra effort that you put forth to actually make this happen." That kind of a thing. Where does that lie?
Like, oh, that guy paid my bar tab at PAX East.
I'll work on that.
Yeah. Sorry, Sean. You please.
Oh no. I mean, I was thinking like, so last year we had some DLC come out for a game, and actually, so we did a charity, a bunch of streams with streamers for Astronomers Without Borders, a fantastic charity, and we gave out a couple of keys for each of the streams to give out as far as the DLC goes, and raised a bunch of money for this charity. But it was one of the things I liked about it was one of the streamers who was very, very doesn't have a whole lot of viewers or anything like that, but still gave out a key and then sent me some video highlights of everything that happened and was just so proud of I think she raised like $150 for it or something like that. It wasn't like the hugest amount, but was so happy about it and was so happy to be able to give away the key and everything. And it's just one of those things like it could be like people are like, you're working video games, everything must be fantastic all the time. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's like it's kind of a drag. So, but you see these things, you see that you're really like that you made somebody happy and that the streamer had a great time, their audience had a great time, and you see some of those clips and it just makes your day. And then you're like, that person I'll be working with for the rest of the time that they're streaming.
So is it a personal
100%.
touch with the gratitude? That sort of seems to...
You'd be surprised how many people don't respond after they get sent a key.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of shocking, and even more so if they decide to stream the content or make a video or whatever, getting another email saying, "Hey, I did this thing," and send you even just a link to the VOD. That almost never happens.
Right.
Now here's the thing. Like, I'm not bitter at all. Like if like a partner streamer, if I send them, like ask me for a key, I send them a code. If they don't give me a response, it's not going to kill me.
Nope.
It's like they're partnered and they have a business and they've got other things they're worrying about. And I've got maybe like 100 other people that I'm giving keys to. So it's okay. I don't mind. Mm-hmm. But if you want to make like an impact, especially if you're starting out, streaming that content and then sending a PR person a quick little, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I did this thing," link. It goes such a long way because no one does it.
Yeah. And we'll watch that too. Like,
yeah, we will.
Like, I will legitimately be watching that.
This is like magic. They did that. So it's that's one thing right there. Is it expected by PR people? No, I don't expect anybody to follow up with me and send me anything. If anything, to be honest, that's our job. To catalog that stuff. But if someone makes it easier for me by sending me that link, and also if they little personal note or something, that goes a long way towards remembering who you are.
Yeah, but you stay in our minds, and we remember who you are. And the next time we're thinking about something, about like people who might make a fit for something that we're doing, some sort of event, something like that, we're gonna think about you because you're right there.
Or the next time you send an email. We'll remember. We'll be like, "Oh yeah, this person. Yeah. I'll open that one. I got 50 others right here, but that one, I know that person. Or I remember them or something."
Memory and emotion, right? Is like the last time you opened an email from that person, you had a little jump in your heart for a second, right? So like you see that name again, you're like, "Ooh." Click.
Absolutely. It comes down to relationships. One thing I didn't mention in my intro that Sean knows is I have like a little, I call it a side gig, where I'm the manager for a streamer who goes by the name Northern Lion, and he's a guy that's really big on indie stuff. And when I would get an email from Sean when he was at Adult Swim, it was an instant open. It was like, oh, I know Sean, and I know he's gonna give me stuff that I probably want Ryan to play, or hope what Ryan will play, or whatever. At least I'll flag it for Ryan, and then he can decide if he wants to play it or not. But the point is that it would be a very like recognizable thing. I know Sean. I open email. I send email to the guy that I manage. So flip flop it. It's the same thing. It's like we just if you are constantly talking to us, or and you know, you send like this little email, or you tweet at us or something like that, yeah, we'll be keeping you in mind and starting to forge an impression of you in our heads, and hopefully it's a positive one.
Yeah.
And then
And also, like I mean, when that happens too, like I spend a lot of my day checking out people's channels, visiting, seeing what they're doing. Sometimes I'll say hello in the chat and stuff like that. And I, you know, if I see somebody like if somebody's like really cool like that, the like email the gratitude and everything like that. I mean, that's how they're going to be with their stream ostensibly. That's how they present themselves. And if that's how you present yourselves to me, I'm assuming you're presenting yourselves to your community that way, and they're going to appreciate that as well. And I think there's something there's something holistic about that.
For sure. So you mentioned also like things like, you know, putting our email address in our Twitter bio, saving our VODs. Are there any other things that content creators can do to make your job and our relationship with you easier?
I mean, those are really the biggest ones.
Those are the big ones. That's like 95% of the battle right there.
After that, it's just icing on the cake. It's just, you know, like tweet me a reminder, hey, I shot you an email or something like that. But that's, I mean, yeah, no, really, seriously, the email thing is huge. It is so big.
Yeah. It really is, and responding to emails, that sort of thing, as well. Like I said earlier, checking the email, or this is one that I've had to have a lot of conversations with a number of streamers that I've worked with over the years. Is if I am on an email with you and there's another person on there, say one of the producers for a game that I'm, you know, working with, or something else, or maybe the community manager or something. If you reply all. I know that seems really basic, but like learn how email works, kind of. So I don't have to just keep adding that person back in over and over and over again. So check your email, but also learn how to
do the passive aggressive. I think so and so dropped off, so I'm just adding them back.
There's one streamer I've worked with since she was so she was like little. Now she's like has an apartment, is all grown up and everything like that. And all those times I would just like there would be emails where I'd write back and be like, I'm not gonna say her name, but let's come up with a name. May. Reply all though, and then I'd add the person in and like have that in there and just be like as part of the email itself. Like I'll get real on it. So yes.
That is awesome. So I do want to get into some Q&A because I've seen some really good questions in chat. So if you guys finally want to release those questions, I'll gather them up. We'll go through them. Anything that you guys want to ask these awesome people while we have their time. Okay, we actually have a question from Shang.
Can I get one in real quick? Just right after the first word of that question.
Okay.
Is it more beneficial or more annoying? Because you mentioned a reminder on Twitter about an email. Is it more beneficial or more annoying to get the cross and it's like, hey, here's a DM to remind you, here's a public tweet to remind you to check the DM to check the email?
I just think of it like real life. Like if I sent you a text about something, right? How long until I have to send you another text just to be like, hey, are we going to meet up tonight or whatever? Just it's like it's real life. We're humans too, not robots. Yeah. So like, you know, if you want to send that tweet or you want to send that DM, that's totally cool. Don't send like 10 in a row. Don't send like one every 5 minutes going, hey, I don't know if you got my last one.
Yeah.
You know?
Like a crazy boyfriend who's just constantly.
Yes.
That makes yes.
Yeah. Read the room. Like you really have to read the room and be like, do you really need to check in daily on this thing or twice a day on this thing that in the grand scheme of things is not time sensitive? Just don't worry about it. Don't get too much on there.
There's one caveat. It's if especially if you don't know the person. If we don't know you and you send like a very quick email and then your follow up like an hour later is what's up, you know, or like like what do you think? Are you going to answer me? I've seen some very aggressive responses when people don't get a response in what they think is a timely manner. So don't do that either.
Yeah.
Because
we have enough
weekends also.
Yeah, that's true too. That's what I forget about.
Weekends?
Yeah, I think I think for some of us work too much and also reply on the weekend and are really bad about it. And I know I'm not the only one, Sean. But yeah, sometimes we do want to take a weekend off. So if we don't respond to you till Monday, please.
Yeah, it's
Please let
nothing.
that
It's
be okay.
nothing personal. We have families and
Yep.
such, and sometimes, they want to see us.
Sometimes
Sorry,
they're okay with it. They're just like, nah, dude, just work Saturday.
I don't want to go. I don't want to come off like I'm not being humble or something. Sometimes they want to see us. I'm not bragging.
So first question comes from Shang Law, who asks, a lot of content creators are now working with managers, agents, stream teams, etc. Does that change your expectations when it comes to your relationship?
No, I don't think it does for me
No.
personally, but I also am biased because I am a manager.
Yeah, your perspective is different on that one.
Yeah. Like, if I'm talking to, someone from OP, or I'm talking to just anybody that represents a streamer, my only expectation is just to get a response. That's it.
Yep.
Because that's their job.
Yeah.
Is to respond. So,
yeah.
Yep.
I most of the relationships I have had with people's agents, managers, very, very positive. I especially there's occasionally been ones where I not thought they were necessarily doing a lot for their streamer, like not responding to emails, maybe not having them in the best interests. And I'll be honest, like that will affect the relationship. I'll probably stop going there if it becomes too difficult to do anything at any point. We're probably going to be using that person a little bit less. So I think if you are a streamer who has an agent, it's okay to ask what's going on and ask, like, really make sure you're getting your money's work. They're earning their percentage. Because I feel like that's just really important. You don't want anybody to drive away, but most people who do this do it because they care, about this medium. And you do run into a lot of agents and managers who are just great people who just really want this to happen and are really super helpful, and take a lot. So yeah, I think in the most part, unless they're just really, really bad, we'll be fine.
This kind of ties into Petra's question, who asks, like, how do you feel about streamer managers reaching out? Do you have the same suspicion of them as a potential scammer? Like, not really like a management company, but more like hey, I am, Loco's manager, like a streamer manager, or like a community manager type role.
So, I mean, I've also done this in the past since I managed Northern Lions inbox. And so I will give information to any managers out there about how that should work. You should make sure that if you are writing like an email from the business email inbox, that inbox is placed on the streamer, the talent they represent, that it's on their bio. That 100% verifies you. I go an extra step, and in the signature, because it signed me, right? And my name is not Ryan, obviously. And I will put, like, in my signature, like, to verify this email address's legitimacy, check check Northern Lions Twitter bio, and I link to it. Yeah, you just go that extra mile, and that's fine. Yeah, I totally don't mind folks like that. I mean, there are tons of people who manage like stream teams and stuff, and they're just trying to get more content for their streamers, and that is attractive to PR folks. So it's like, oh, I can coordinate with one person to hit like 10 people at once. That's great.
That's always nice.
Yeah. So long as whatever that email address is for the talent or the stream team is listed in that bio, we can verify it really easy.
Absolutely. Everything should be verifiable.
So Petra followed up and asked, would putting the streamer on the CC help, even if the streamer isn't replying? The streamer's business email, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
I have a few managers and agents who do that.
Yeah, the talent, they'll speak up when they want to. I mean, if they have managers, chances are they've already got a bit of an audience, which means that they're busy. It's a business for them. It's a business for us. They'll chime in if they need to. Otherwise, manager handles stuff, and that's totally cool.
Awesome. We have another question from Petra, who asks, how do you differ between everyone who says, I'm a community-focused variety caster? Because there are tons of variety streamers.
You guys touched on that a little bit earlier,
Yeah.
talking about trying, find the focus that you do have, but considering the what is it? I think we're up to like 19 billion streamers now. It can
Right.
be hard to you still end up hearing roughly the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think like I guess what I would say is don't say that. Or if you do say that, make sure you're expanding on that because you're probably not that. Like, I mean, that you are that, but that's so basic. That's like me being like, or like, hey, Sean, what are you into? And I'm like, I breathe.
I eat
Air,
food on
mostly.
days.
Like, I'm not saying anything that like you don't already know. Like,
Right.
obviously, you're probably community focused if you have a community. Like, obviously, so and if you play a lot of different types of games, all right, your variety. But like, what do you care about? Like, which ones of those variety? What are the ones that you really really like? You're community focused. Go on. How are you community focused? What is the relationship with your community? Because I've seen people who the relationship between their community is this almost comical antagonism back and forth, and that can work. There could be that sort of like saltier communities, but everybody loves each other, but there's like a little bit of the saltiness. There could be one that's more just like like one of my favorite streamers right now is Nega Oryx. Who you might remember from all of the memes for the past 2 months. And but like one of the things I know with her channel is the sort of like emotional honesty with the audience, which is that's her way of handling with her relationship with the audience. So there's all sorts of different ways you can get into that and sort of make it more clear to me what you're trying to do.
Awesome. Let's see. We have a question from AOB who asks, what should an email to a CM look like when asking for a key or developing a relationship? I don't want to come off as not genuine.
No. And we kind of touched on this earlier, but just something that's really concise. And I don't know how to be friendly. Like be yourself. You're probably a really cool, entertaining, fun person.
Yeah.
And if you're not, just know that you really are, okay?
We believe in you.
Yeah, we believe in you. I mean, if you don't think you are, that doesn't matter. No, you'd be surprised. It's not difficult to be genuine. Just write whatever you're feeling, and politely.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Throw a link in there too. Make sure
Oh,
we
yeah.
can find your channel. I know that seems so obvious, but you'd be shocked how often that doesn't happen.
Yeah. My favorite is like, hi, I'm so and so, and my channel is this, and they don't even tell you what platform it is.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm not gonna twitch.tv/that channel. Damn it, no. YouTube.com/ damn it, no. Like, I'm not gonna be doing that.
It's on my MySpace page, and
oh my gosh, MySpace. Your video games in my top 8. Boy, that now I've dated myself.
See? I knew we'd get there.
Hey, I got that one. All right, I'm old enough for that one.
Want to talk about Love Boat later, David?
Yeah, let's do it.
Is that a movie?
No, well, it was.
I mean, there were TV movies.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have a couple more questions. One's from Grid who asks, is it a new thing for companies to care about small streamers? It seemed like years ago they would ignore you if you barely had anything over 20K.
I think we also talked about this one too. It might not be the company, it might be the individual PR rep.
Yeah.
And it depends on so many things. Like,
right.
Sean, I imagine at Bethesda that you have internal PR reps, but you probably have a PR firm.
We do. Yeah.
Right. And that PR firm has to abide by whatever Bethesda PR says,
Right.
like in regards to codes. So they might only hand that PR firm like 100 keys.
Right.
I've certainly been in that same boat. The Nintendo Switch is such a popular platform right now. They only give you 200 codes.
That's right.
They only give you 200. There are more than 200 people that want to play a game on their stream for the Switch. And we have to make terrible decisions all the time. It's like choosing your favorites, and it really sucks. But that's just the way that it is. And so sometimes when
basically all console codes too, it's they're limited. We just don't have an unlimited amount of those codes.
Yeah. Even Steam is the interesting one, because I think people are like, well, Steam gives you like unlimited codes. And well, that's not entirely true. The other thing to realize is that whoever you're talking to, if it's like a PR agency, they might have only been given like 50 codes from the company. So now they've got to only pick 50 people. And it's a tough one.
Well, I think there's also the reason why it's changed is like David and I, we've been doing this basically since there were streamers for all intents and purposes. And as Loco was saying, this has changed so much. This field has changed. Every year it's unrecognizable from the year previously. That's how fast this is changing. And I think to have that sort of like wider breadth, those of us who've been doing this a little bit longer are starting to notice like the things that are more valuable, like having these longer term relationships with streamers, that watching, we've certainly worked, both of us, with streamers who, when we first started working them, had 100 people and now they have 100,000. Like,
right.
We've seen it happen and we've noticed these trends. And also I think, we probably both just come at it as, hey, we're all people. Why don't we just treat each other like people? Which is a great place to start.
Yeah, being human and decent goes a long way. It's
really
incredible.
Does.
Yeah, and also too, like we're talking about, these relationships that we forge, like to hand out keys for someone to become, hopefully a larger streamer and help them on their path or whatever. But maybe that path doesn't end with being partner. Maybe that path continues on into working in the industry. There are plenty of people that work on our side of it that were on your side of it.
Yep.
For a long time too. So. There are so many ways that this can go, that just being a human and decent in general works out for.
Yeah. Really does.
And I think like a big reason why it has changed is because more companies are finally figuring out what streamers are, what they do, and what their value is, to them and their game company. So like at first you're like, why would I pay this person named Ninja to play games? Now it's like, oh, like he has a huge audience, like it's marketing, right? Now streamers are fitting into a company's marketing budget.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with smaller streamers, there's a lot of you have like a higher level of engagement. Like it's almost like you have a tighter knit community, right? So working with like small to mid streamers, they like, and you're like doing a sponsored stream or you're just playing that game, like your opinion is so much more valuable than like someone with like a massive amount of viewers that gets that exposure but maybe doesn't have as much of a stronger influence on like individual viewers.
Right. We talk about this all the time because I talk about that as being the indie band sort of thing, whereas I look at small and medium streamers, population streamers, as being more like indie bands, because you can drop into their chat, sub or not, say hello, probably get a response. You're having a conversation. You have a relationship with the people. The way that like when you have that band that you really, really like that only like 300 people even know of, and when you go to a show, it's just you all together. That band, you're going to buy their merch, right? You're going to have that relationship where you feel like you have that personal relationship. Whereas somebody who has like compared to U2, not everybody who goes to a U2 show is going to buy a U2 shirt. Like, they don't have a personal relationship with Bono or The Edge.
But they want it though.
They'd want to, but they don't actually have it. Whereas, with like there's so much that like small and medium streamers, there's such I want to say there's part of me that doesn't want to say value because I don't want to make it seem like a monetary value, but I mean that that sort of ability to have a personal relationship with people who watch you on a daily basis there is literally nothing more important. There's nothing I care more about than that. And that comes from you. So yeah, that's a big one.
I feel like a celebrity going into small stream chats.
Yes.
Like, because they say hi to you. And then maybe you ask a question and they respond to it. And you're like, whoa, this is cool. And like, I respect that, as you continue to get larger, you can't just do that. It's just not possible. And that's fine too, right?
Yeah,
because at one point, that now you're there like entertaining the masses the way like Jimmy Fallon does or on the Tonight Show or something like that. But yeah, I think that's a power that smaller channels have right now is that interactivity. And I also want to say, I think that there was a study from Twitch on a blog post a couple of years back that actually said something along these lines of not of interactivity, but how your game is viewed by people who had like I can't remember anymore, under 3,000 concurrent viewers, which is a ton. I mean, that getting 3,000 would be nice. So yeah, that speaks for a lot of channels, and I think that's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. We have a question from Wishwady who asks, "What kind of relationship? I guess basically like, are there streamers and community types that you refuse to work with?"
I mean, if you're
Ooh.
racist,
Well,
you
that
can
seems reasonable.
you can get the hell out.
Hmm.
Yeah, you get the hell out.
What
Yeah.
about like even just like more mature channels, people that
Yeah,
maybe
like
swear
G
a lot, have a lot
versus
of yeah.
heavy on the R stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Things like
like, I
that.
mean, we also have rules that apply to us based on like the ESRB and stuff.
Sure.
Like our games have ratings, so if you're like a mature channel and I'm giving out codes for a teen game, like these are things I have to be careful about. You do have to be careful about that from just from thing, and also you want to make sure you're not doing something unethical, basically, right there. So yeah, that can definitely play into it. Also, if it's just like giveaway channels like that, where it's like, oh, everything's about a giveaway. It's fine. Congratulations. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna work for us.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I ran into that with streamers so much as I've seen it with like Twitter accounts and older websites, right? Yeah, Sean's like, yeah,
Yeah. No, the Steam
Like,
I run a Steam group. And,
yeah. Oh, that's an instant delete.
we want to give 6,000
Oh.
codes to our members. We're very
Yep.
influential.
Yeah,
Okay.
Nope, I don't think so.
Interesting.
I have seen
Yeah.
that before.
Yeah. That's
I think that
hmm.
the other one too to keep in mind, like let's say that you're a mature rated channel, you curse a lot. Some people are not going to care, and some people will. Like if it's like a family friendly brand, like let's say like you curse better than a sailor does, but you want to play that new Mario game and you want to get it from Nintendo early. I got a feeling, I don't know, Nintendo's
sneaking suspicion.
probably not going to want you to play their game ahead of time.
Yeah.
So you got to keep that in mind too. You do you. That's
Yeah.
totally cool. Just be aware that you might not be a fit for everyone.
Which is not which also is not a slight. Like
it's not.
trying to literally be for everybody is a cynical move that won't pay out in the end.
Absolutely.
You've got to be you. You really do have to find that. But yeah, again, it's not personal. It's just sometimes it's not going to be a good fit for us. That doesn't mean it never will be, but
But if you know your identity and then you can pitch that brand identity to the right people and you've got those two things lined up, way better
100%.
than trying to shoehorn yourself into. Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being yourself at all. Just like everything, like in life, it might come with some limitations in some regards, and in other regards you'll completely excel.
Right.
Yeah. So
I think one thing is also channels that if they don't like something, they make it personal.
Yeah.
Especially like, oh, I don't like those games. I hate all the developers. They're horrible people and blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, what are you talking
They
about?
probably like kale. It's just miserable over there.
Yeah, like as soon as it gets like that.
I have seen that. That's got to be a big turnoff. That's got to make you not want to work with somebody because you're concerned about. I mean, I have every ounce of faith in this product, and I would love to pitch it to you. But the moment something goes a little haywire and it suddenly dips below that content creator's threshold for acceptability, then it's the worst thing in the world, and it becomes an entire like performance of hate.
Right, and
that's got to be very.
Don't mind salt. Like I think salt is great. Like bring salt. Like that's authenticity. To know that there's things that you like and that there's things that you don't like. That means the audience can trust what you're saying, that you either like something or don't like something. But it's how you say you don't like something, or even in some ways how you say you do like something. About not making it personal. Like
and that's
if you
that's a critical part of my brand for all of, and when I'm going through the games, like I'll be like, this thing is really terrible. Here are the reasons. And then it's couched in this other really fantastic quality. Here are those attributes. And then you're seeing that juxtaposition immediately from a viewership perspective. Before I started streaming myself, I'd be like, oh, that is absolutely that genuine review of the thing, because you're seeing it all side by side instead of just a checklist of the worst things ever or the greatest things ever. And it's like completely divorced from each other.
Right.
That doesn't just feel genuine.
Yeah, you want that authenticity. You want that feeling, and that I think that's a huge a huge benefit to a channel is to be able to speak honestly about a thing and have people believe it. But again, going straight into the full on like burning it down thing, like you are not emotionally stable enough for me to be working with you right now.
Like it's like if you have like an honest critique about a game, like give it. That's totally cool.
Yeah.
No one is stopping you from having that opinion. But if it's like, oh, I'm playing this first person shooter and they won't let me turn the reticle hot pink, lazy fucking devs.
Just into a tirade.
Like that's not cool.
That's fair.
Yep.
And that applies if you get a key. Like, don't feel like you need to be nice if you get a code for a game. Like, they want your honest opinion. They're literally saying it right now. So don't feel like you need to, like, pretend. If you don't like it, stop playing it. You don't have to play it for a certain amount of time either.
Right, and you can even just say, this isn't my thing. Like, that's, like, totally fine, and identify those things. And that's totally fine. We all have different things that we like and don't like, and that's all part of it. And also, I would rather you keep your authenticity than like sell out, because like if you completely sell out and your audience doesn't listen to you anymore, we're probably what value am I to you, and what value, like, we're not going to have a productive relationship.
And that's one of the things that I keep coming back to for myself whenever we do sponsored content on my stream, is I always have one prime example of having done a sponsored stream for what ended up being the literal worst game I've ever streamed. To the point that, and I finished the entire game because I wanted to give it a fair shake and a full review. And then I took an entire other stream to critique the game for 5 hours, point by point, where it wasn't just like, here's me just dumping on the game. I'm like, here's every quality and why I'm viewing it the way that I'm viewing it. Let's look at this. Let's look at this together. Every single time I'm doing sponsored content for a stream, and somebody's like, oh, he's just talking about the good stuff because it's, and I'm like, exhibit A through Z right here. It's like, we have this context for you to go like, no, there is balance and authenticity to this.
The business guy in me just thought, they got him to talk about it 5 hours for free.
That's true. That is true.
I won't lie, I was thinking the exact same thing. Exact same thing.
Man.
I'm not a good businessman. I don't know what I'm doing. So DJ Does Linux asked what pitches from us, how Loco and I would pitch our streams. So I've been working on something with Petracat and with HP Fox, who manages my stream lately, to do more show than tell, putting together video reels and stuff, trying to, I don't want to give away too many secrets, different genres, and then one general one. So it's like, here's our shooter action stuff, here's our strategy stuff, and then it's like oh, here's the strategy game. We actually do all the variety. It's everything from the stopping and talking for an hour about each move I'm making in a turn-based game to I can't even read chat for an hour because I'm just playing Anthem and can't take my eyes off the screen, kind of a thing. And you need to be able to see that whatever it is that's going to work for the particular game that I'm trying to connect with you about, right? And I think that goes a long way alongside having something that's generalized. That's like, hey, you handle a bunch of different types of games. Here's the kind of stuff we do as a whole. And I feel like show more than tell can work in circumstances. In some circumstances, trying to put something together, some reels together, might be valuable. What do you guys think?
I think that's. Excuse me. I'm like,
I got you choked up. That was a good idea, wasn't it?
I know. Oh my god, that's a great idea. It is a great idea, though. I think that that's if someone's got the time to produce something like that. Yeah, that I feel like
Time's
that could
a problem.
only. Yeah,
Context is everything. Like,
yeah,
good context. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, but I think the idea of it is pretty stellar. I would love to, if there were a way to just have like a video of every channel that I ever went, it would be incredible. Instead of having to dig through VODs and hoping that I'm clicking on something that actually, time. Yeah, well, no, but also something that accurately represents who this person is about. Right, because maybe I caught them on a bad day, the one random VOD in the last 2 months that I clicked on, and they were just having a shitty day.
Where everybody's critiquing the game and throwing it on them, like because they're playing it, they're responsible for this game that other people aren't liking.
I caught the 5 hours that Hunter was going off on a game. You know?
It is possible, right?
So
I gotta go find
that's
those clips right now.
yeah, go look.
That's essentially what a marketing deck is, right?
Oh, wow! I think that
Yeah.
is kind of what a marketing deck is. I don't think those are necessary unless you're trying to actually get money from somebody.
Yeah.
Like if Hunter's manager said, "Hey, looking for opportunities for him. Here's a marketing deck about with stats and stuff like that." Sure, but just trying to get a code, that's really overkill.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But if I mean, like a 1 minute video, that's easy.
Yeah.
That's digestible. It's simple.
I did have somebody did send me a deck last year. It was two streamers worked together to come up with a plan for an event that they wanted to do. And it was great because the deck was like for me, the exact right length. 5 slides. There was
Oh,
like
that's
an
great.
intro slide,
Oh,
and then there was like
pictures.
4 of information. It was a lot of pictures. There was a little bit of identifying info about their channels, and then followed by a pretty concise plan about what they wanted to do. And I was like, I read through it, and I was just like, yeah, but I mean, you've already done literally all of the work. Like literally all of the work is done. We can definitely do something here. And it wasn't for money. It was just to do an event on their channel. It was really cool.
See that's cool. That's if it's something that's beyond just asking for a key or something like that. Something like that I think could be great. I would love it if someone just sent me a one slide presentation that said like, I know you hate presentations, so I'm just making you read this. I'd be like, boom, you get a key.
You're gonna get like 30 of those tomorrow.
No,
I know what your inbox is. I'm gonna send you one.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, Lord.
It's been a long time since I've gotten something from Sean, so I'm actually really looking forward to this.
So we do have one more question from Alochi, who asks, what's the best way to maintain a relationship, especially for people like me who are constantly afraid of bothering people? And I'll add on to this and ask, how do you initiate a relationship?
For me, I mean, like I said, my Twitter DMs are always open, and if you send a picture of your dog or any pet that you have that you think is like cute, or just some people just go and find gifs of dogs and send them to me on there, just something to initiate that sort of something for me to react to at the beginning,
Like an icebreaker.
Yeah, literally every single time you're just going to get a whole bunch of capitalized letters of me just going, oh, because that's the best part of my day. Every day is just looking at cute dogs in my DMs. But then sort of like following it, like, again, what you are trying to accomplish with your channel, what you like to play, send a link. Maybe if you have a clip of something that you're really, really proud of that happened on your channel or some highlights, send those along. Send those along in there. And then every now and then, if we have another game that's coming out that you're interested in, hit me up. At that point, you probably have my email. Email me, let me know. I'm happy to chat about that pretty much whenever. I do that with some of my streamers as well, or some people that I work with. Even a few streamers who I don't work with yet. Like we haven't actually done any games together or anything like that. If I see them have a really good stream, I'll hit them up afterwards and be like, "You did great. That was really, really good. You did so awesome." Like partially, just again to be human because I
How much can I
genuinely
pay you to
respect it.
cheerlead me after streams? Because that already just with the tone and volume right there was amazing. I felt great about this stream just by virtue of that alone.
Hunter, you're doing great. You're doing so good. That part where
Now
you
you just
did
gotta
talk
clip
about the
it.
5 hours, you do great. I'm looking forward to the deck about this conversation. But yeah, I think like Dave and I have both been saying, it really is about relationships, and it's about building a relationship, but more importantly, maintaining that relationship over time. So it's okay to just sort of like hit me up and ask what's up, like what's the next things going on, and hey, have you seen my channel? Keep me up to date, because also like we work with hundreds of streamers, and it's hard to visit every channel every day. Literally impossible. Physically
I barely
impossible.
even see my friends, and they stream all the time. It's the easiest to see them, and I can't even do that.
Right.
I
So if
totally
you
understand how challenging that would be when you're working with 100 plus to hundreds of people.
And if you have something that you're really, really proud of, let me know about it. Like I
Communication
I
works
don't.
both ways.
I'll be Twitch dad. I want to be proud of you. I want to be proud of you. That's all I want. So, yeah, like that. I think that's a good way. I mean, the best way to keep up with people is to keep up with people and just be genuine and honest about it.
Yeah, I
Preach.
think if you follow us on social media, you don't always have to just reply to the "Hey, I got codes,"
Mhm.
who wants a code tweet. You could respond to the dumb tweets I have about old video games because I play retro games. So you could be like, "Hey, I really like that old video game." Like, I like old video games too. Or if I make a really dumb joke, you don't have to tell me that you liked my joke. Please be
It'll
honest.
help.
Say that it might help a little bit. No, but I mean, like, just interact, come back with your own joke, or just tell me that was the dumbest joke you've ever heard. I have followed people I've never met in my life because after 3 months, 6 months, however long, I realized, like, hey, this person, we could probably be friends in real life, so I'm just gonna follow them now. They might only have 100 followers on Twitter, maybe they also a streamer.
Mhm.
I've totally done that in the past and have forged some really nice relationships with people I still
Yeah.
haven't met, and that's cool. Also, if you go to shows, come meet us.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Come say hi. If you recognize us on Twitter, and you see us at the bar, please come up and say, "Hey, I don't want to be that creepy person that says I recognize you from Twitter, but that's how I know you." I'd be like, "That's funny. Here's a beer," or something. That's I know it's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to Sean.
Yes.
That's totally fine. You obviously it happens to you guys, our hosts. That's totally cool. Yeah, if FaceTime goes a long way, you'd be
Yeah.
surprised.
Certainly.
Yeah, it definitely helps, like, to forge that relationship. Like, having that, like, person-to-person interaction, I think goes such a long way. So I always encourage people to try to make it to a convention, like, just something that's near you, like a PAX, a TwitchCon. For people that are weighing it, like, it's definitely worth trying to make one if streaming is becoming something that you want to do.
Yeah, eventually, even if you've only ran into each other in passing, you still might get that passing high. Like streamers that I've met in the past, like, oh, maybe we shared a drink, and then at another convention, we're too busy, but we literally, like, cross paths, and it's like a hey, and that's it. And that's sometimes that's enough. Sometimes that's enough. I remember the last time I saw Loco, it was outside of a bar at TwitchCon, and I was hanging out with Diction, and you came out from a party, and very quick hi bye, and that was it. It didn't need to be more than that. Just like, hey, how's it going?
For sure.
Yeah. So
So that is gonna do it for us today, guys. I do want to do, before we do our shout outs, I want to do, like, closing thoughts, like any last things you want to say to hit home with aspiring streamers watching that want to work with you.
Yeah, just like I've been saying, the foremost thing to care about is not getting free codes, nothing like that. The foremost thing to care about is if you want to stream because this is an exciting, incredible medium, and you want to do that you want to be part of it. You want to trailblaze this. You want to make this medium better every single day. You want to be better every single day because this is what you want to put out. Care about this as much as I do.
And I would just say, we try very hard to remember that there are humans on the other ends of these emails and these Twitter DMs, and and so just please also keep in mind that we're humans too, and that means that we can be friends and we can have relationships, and they don't just happen overnight. And sometimes it takes a little bit of work, but we would love to work with you, and I hope you feel the same way about us.
Awesome. So before you guys go, we're going to do shout outs, and we actually have another show right after this called Your Brand, Your Business. Galen is back with Ernest, and they're going to be talking about the administrative side of streaming. So stay tuned for that, literally right after the show. DMart, Sean, thank you guys for joining us. Where can we find you guys on social media?
I'm at Sean the Baptiste on Twitter, and that's generally the best place to find me because that's where my DMs are open.
And I am at HeyDMart on Twitter, and on Twitch I do a tiny little stream where I just play nothing but old video games on old consoles. But I welcome any questions that come through there as well. It does happen from time to time, and I certainly don't mind it. So you can find me either place.
That retro life.
I love that retro life.
Cool.
Hunter?
I can't quit Anthem. You can find me on twitch.tv/thehunterwild, non-stopping that. It's 120 hours this week. I'm in love. This show has been eye-opening. I have so many notes. I like little chicken scratch notes of just like scribbling it down. This has been so wonderful. If anybody's interested, you guys can follow me at the Hunter Wild TV on Twitter as well for the absolute best Twitter content possible. I'm really stepping up my selling the Twitter game from last week, where I said it was possibly the worst Twitter content possible.
What a turnaround!
Yeah, I've done a 180.
This industry changes so fast.
Exactly. It's a year, but 60 seconds. I don't know.
I am Loco. You can find me at twitch.tv/LOWCO, Twitter Loco2525, and I just finished Metro Exodus, and I'm going to be trying out, I believe, Far Cry this
New
week
Dawn.
and some Tetris 99.
Ooh,
yes.
That game is so good.
So good.
I won my first game yesterday. Of course, it was off stream, and I won't win tomorrow. But it's so addicting. It's awesome. Anyways, so this is Streamersquare, guys. If you guys are new here, you can find us on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter as Streamersquare. We also have a Discord that's open to everybody. So if you guys want to talk more about streaming or find a graphic artist because you affiliates get more emotes, definitely check out the Discord because we have artists there to help you if you want to commission somebody or just get some advice about streaming. So definitely check that out. And you can also check out our Patreon if you guys enjoy this content to support what we do. Throw us a couple bucks and you can get some really, really, really cool stuff in return. So definitely take a look at our Patreon page when you get a chance. And our next show is right after this, you guys. Your Brand, Your Business with Ernest and Galen talking about the administrative side of streaming. Stay tuned, guys. Thank you guys for tuning into this stream scene. And we'll see you guys next week.
Planned ideas that we've been asking all of our guests over the last several episodes is, what would you think if we recorded behind the scenes stuff? And I am now recording for the next episode of Behind the Streamersquare scenes.
On the next episode, we find out if Hunter's pregnant.
This is going to be the first time that we've done it. And
I'll be extra funny.
You guys gotta be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now the pressure's on.
It's funny seeing other green screens on the screen and like realizing that yours is way more wrinkled than everybody else's.
Yeah, I have the most expensive battery recharge station in my house. That's all I use it for, is just to recharge my batteries for these super long streams and stuff.
Are you talking about your bed?
Effectively, yes.
Yeah.
I just plug myself in, just.
I picture your mattress with like a cutout of your body.
Yeah, today I learned that
like an
Hunter
android.
is also a robot, and that's why he does a show with Loco. Okay, I get it. I understand. I like that.
We're gonna call it Behind the Stream Scenes because this is the stream scene show. Right, okay, it's very clever. I'm gonna pat myself on the back on this one.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.